Hello everybody. Hey, we're gonna kind of go over a post-trip inspection, something that needs to be done on a daily basis. So I'm standing outside my truck now. I'm gonna walk you through this here. So let's flip this around and get this started. So I'm here with T28. I just climbed out of the truck. I want you to notice that I do have the box up approximately 6 to 8 feet. Okay, so first thing I want to do, guys, is I want to step over here to our main kill switch here. Now, that main kill switch, we need to check on a daily basis. The connections, just like on your battery, they're going to get corroded. You can kind of see the green down there. We just cleaned them up. So let's take a look at that on, regularly. Then you've also got more connections down here. Right down in here. It's all off the battery, so it's going to get corroded. The solenoid. We need to make sure that these wires are all connected. That's a good way to, basically lose power on a daily basis. Can't figure out what's going on. So, take a look at that. Our gauges. All of our gauges should be preset. Mine are set at 45. I'm not going to quote exactly what everybody else's gauges are going to be set at, but most of them are 40 to 45 pounds. That's for the pushers. So, up here in the front, this is my hydraulic tank. As you see, I have a sight glass on the outside. A lot of you have on the sides of them, you'll have sight glasses, just a hole. There's like 3 of them on it. We're always taking a look at that. Never check it with the box in the air. The box has always got to be completely down in order to check your fluid level. As I've done here, and I can see it as plain as day. Right there is my full mark. I just, every now and then, I'll just take my finger and I'll wipe on the tank, and I know exactly where my full mark's at. Okay, let's move along here. Air tanks. This time of year, guys, our evenings are dipping down, maybe low 20s, low 30s, whatever. And then it's heating up during the day. So first thing we want to do when we get out of our truck is grab a hold of these cables, drain some more air out of it. Want to drain all that condensation that it builds. Then we're also going to want to take a look at our ram system here. So you need to take a look at the bolts on it that's holding it in, okay? Always take a look. Make sure that, number one, that they are there. Make sure you got hydraulics that's coming in right here to it. Make sure you're not seeing any hydraulic drips coming out of it, okay? Got 2 bolts right there, hydraulic there. There's going to be 2 bolts on the other side. We will get to them as we walk around. Okay. Once again, I've got another drainage here from my air tank. That's all it takes, 3-4 seconds of it. Pushers, your brake cans. Here's your brake cans. Let's take a look at it. Make sure your connections all look good on them. Some of the hoses that run off that brake can are coming down, and they might be rubbing up again the frame. As you can see right there, it is on the frame. So on a daily basis, all I'm doing is pushing that down, and as you can see, that little shiny spot right there's that shiny spot. Make sure that it's not cutting through. Okay? Airbags. Make sure your airbags are deploying properly. Sunlight's getting us. Make sure your airbags all look good. There's no tears in them. Once again, back here on the brake cans. Here's the back side of your brake can. Cotter pin. See that cotter pin down in there? Right there. That's a cotter pin. Make darn sure that cotter pin's in there. This comes out, you have no brake in this. Make sure everything looks tight. You can actually grab a hold of this. Sorry about all the movement, but I'm by myself. You can actually grab a hold of that and make sure that it's not moving. That way you know it's tight and secure. Then we got our shocks down here, guys. Make sure our shocks are all connected. It's pretty simple to look at it. You might look, see if there's any oil leaking out of them. We start getting oil leaking out of them, we know it's shot. Then we got our tie rod ends down here. Make sure you're not seeing any new threads or any breakage. Make sure everything looks tight and secure down on that. Back side of the wheel here, guys. Your brakes. That's a brake spring right there. You can see your brakes down in there. Make sure you're not seeing any oil anywhere in there. You don't want no oil leaking. That'd be your wheel hub. As you can see, I was greased not too long ago. You can see the grease coming out. Got to keep things greased. Another good thing to be doing with the pusher is just at the end of the day, while they're up, just grab them and try to shake them back and forwards, okay? That's all you got to do. Just 3 or 4 times. Just make sure that they're still nice and tight, all right? I've got hubcaps on my wheel, so I cannot see the wheel bearing cap on it. So I go around and I look at everything every single night, guys. Make sure everything looks tight and secure. It's all dirty. I've been running in the mud. Once again, my hose. This hose is actually under. So once again, up here at the top, guys, I know it's kind of tough to see. Bear with me. Hydraulic ends. This is all hydraulics right here, okay? Both them lines are hydraulics. That's our hydraulic pump right there. Make sure you have no leakage. Nothing. You don't want no leakage. Air lines running into it. Make sure your air lines are hooked up. They look good. Okay? Take a look at your frame. Make sure your frame has all the bolts in it. Make sure that there's no cracks or anything of that sort. It's just a simple daily thing. Once again, there it is again. Another brake chamber. Okay, let's move on back here to our back tires. And at the same time as we're moving, we're thumping, okay? Thumping tires. We don't want to use anything less than a 16-ounce hammer, okay? Anything smaller than that, you're not going to get a proper thump on it, okay? Now, on my drive tires back here, I'm going to look back here. That's the inside of my drum back there, guys. I'm looking to make sure that, once again, there is no wheel bearing oil splattering back there, okay? If there is, it'll be strung all over the place, all right? You'll be able to notify it, identify it so easily. It's unreal. And this is the other side. As you see, there's nothing there. We got brake lines, air lines, everywhere, okay? Make sure everything is tight and secure and things ain't coming loose, okay? As we're moving along, I'm thumping tires. I'm hitting the tire twice. I do not believe in hitting the tread of the tire. I believe in going to the side. You're going to get a much better thump off the side versus the tread, okay? So go to the side when you thump the sides. All right, as we're making our way back, we're looking at lights also. we're making sure all of our lights are working. All right, we're back here on the back of the tailgate now. Here is another problem we had last year, guys. As you can see, everybody knows that's the tailgate latch. Then we have a tailgate pin that gets held in there, okay? Take a look at your tailgate pin. Make sure you don't have any weld breaks in it, okay? Last year we had a couple of them fall off. We've had one on my truck fall off this year, okay? Let's keep an eye on that. And once again, as we're making our way around, we're checking lights. Make sure our lights are all blinking properly and clean. DOT likes clean lights. Back here is basically, there's only 3 things holding this box on, guys. This, and then the other side, then our ram up in the top. Make sure no breaks in the welds. Make sure everything is tight and secure in there, okay? That's a very important thing to take a look at. Airbags, make sure your airbags are fully inflated. The pedestals that the airbags sit on, okay? Make sure that they're fully intact, okay? Once again, there's a pumpkin back there, our rear end. Just take a look at things, okay? We're gonna work our way on around. Here's our other side. I'm taking a look at my pin, my tailgate pin. I'm making sure that it's fully intact and that it's not gonna break off anytime soon. We're coming back to the other side. We're gonna get much better light over here. Got the sun on the other side of the truck. Once again, I'm thumping all my tires over here. Now we can really see the wiring, okay? All we gotta do is look at them. And you can start telling if something don't look right back there, okay? It's real simple. You'll identify it simply. Everything. Just gotta take a gander at it. The more you look at it, the easier it'll be. Cluster. Make sure that all the zip ties are staying intact. We don't want no wires getting up on the rail. Gets up on the rail, it'll break them in a heartbeat, okay? Once again, we're gonna look on the wheel bearing oil, make sure we don't have no leakage. Make sure that our brake cans on our drives, right here is our brake cans. Right back there. Make sure they're not hanging. Make sure that the air lines are hooked to them. Okay? Got 2 on each side. We're gonna work our way on up here to our pushers again. Making sure that everything is intact. Cotter pin's in. Everything's looking good. Looks like maybe that hose might be rubbing a little bit, so I'm just gonna push it down and take a look at it. Okay? It's a little shiny, but it's not eating through the hose yet. So that's something another one we've got to keep an eye on. All my bolts are there. Everything looks tight and intact. Okay, here once we go again. Another relief, air relief. That's all it takes. Another one. Simple. Up here, you're going to see the other side of the hydraulic system. Right here. That plunger. Make sure no leakage. No leakage out of the footings. None there. Nothing leaking out of the hoses. All the way up to the cylinder itself. So all we're doing is just looking over everything. Looking pretty darn good. I do this on a daily basis, so I know. Cotter pin's in. So I ain't got to worry about a brake not falling on me. Now we've also had trucks with issues with the exhaust. Shake your exhaust, make sure that it's tight and secure. Okay, here we are on our cylinder once again. We're checking, make sure the bolts are there and they're tight. Okay, right there, make sure she's in there. Okay, there's a couple bolts up there to hold it in. Okay, the other side of my reservoir for my hydraulic. You know, we're looking at everything on these trucks. Lights are working. Door steps are tight. They're not to fall off. Mud flaps on there. Steer tires. Big deal here. Big deal. Steer tires, guys. Put on a glove and grab a hold. All you got to do is take your hand and rub it right across the top of your tire. If that tire feels nice and smooth and no humps on it, you've got a good front end alignment, okay? If it's you ever starting to feel a little thump in it, you know you're definitely alignment's off. All right, so check them front tires too. Once again, here we go. Front tire. Okay, I'm looking over everything. Airlines look good. Fittings all look good. Nothing's rubbing there. Got both U-bolts on there. Thank goodness. Airline looks good there. Yes, looking good over here. And take a look at this side of the motor. There's my antifreeze. I'm not going to loosen it up. You can see it's fully full right now, and that's because of the pressure that's in it and that it's hot. So it's going to be a little higher than what it is in the morning. In the morning, it's down just a little bit. Okay. I'm also on this side. Belts. Taking a look at my belts. Looks like they're looking pretty good. I don't see no anything antifreeze coming out of the lines here. Everything's tight there. Excuse me. Yeah, there's some more antifreeze lines there. No leakage out of them. Going up into my heater core. Nothing leaking out of there. So let's go to the other side. Get back in the sun, I guess. Well, it's going to be a little difficult to see once again. Right in there, we can see our belts. Looks pretty darn good. I'm looking around. Everything's looking good. Everything looks tight. I ain't seeing nothing leaking out of anything. Yep, that's all we're doing is just looking around, looking at the knuckle of the steering there, make sure it's all intact. You know, it's the last thing you want to lose is the steering. Just U-joints holding them in, guys. I'm coming down here, I'm looking at all the other nuts and bolts. Front end up here. Nothing leaking on me. U-bolts, both my U-bolts are in there. You know, that's all it's taking, guys. Thump your tire. I don't care if it's front tire or not. You can think, everybody think you can just look at the front tire. Thump that. Make sure you got good pressure in there. Fuel filter. Got our fuel filter right there. Make sure that there's no leakage out of that. And that's a good one to take a look at first thing in the morning also. And that's something I do every morning when I come to work. I pull up. I look underneath my truck, make sure that I have no leakage there. Now I know that that mess is right there, so I know it'll be there in the morning. I take a look at everything. Looking in here in my radiator, you know, make sure everything's fully intact in there. Let's go ahead and shut the hood. And when I shut the hood at night, I don't fully shut my hood. I just let it rest in there. That way in the morning, I don't have to pull the handle to unlock my hood. I can just go to the side and grab a hold of it. A lot of people will go up here and they'll grab that top, you know, and then they pull on it. My theory of thought on that is that's a little hard on the back. That's pretty tall up in there. You're not able to pull with your legs. You're pulling with your shoulders and your back. I like to come over here right on my fender. Right under my fender. I can stand back and put one hand on it. And I can push my hood right up. A piece of cake. In the morning, I will pull the dipstick and check the oil. I will check my antifreeze again in the morning. That's not something that I do at the end of the day. So, my theory of thoughts here, guys, is the post-trip inspection is almost more important, shutting my hood, sorry, that it is more important to post-trip these trucks versus pre-trip. This is when we got daylight, we can see well, we know what's going on with our trucks, okay? I'd really like to see everybody start doing this more often. Keep an eye on your tires. Make sure you ain't got no chunks from running over a huge rock at the quarry or something, or on a job site, you know? Once again, you can very well, on all your tires, all you got to do is rub your hand across it, and you will feel the thumps in it, okay? Like right here, I got a little chunk of rubber right out of the tread. No big deal. It's not going to slow my truck down any. I can continue to work. Roll it. Ain't a bad idea too. Roll them. Make sure you're not hearing any squealing in them. Hear that? Let me do it again. Yeah. See there? That almost sounds like something's rubbing on the brake. So I can roll my tire around and I can take a look at my drum as I do this. Oh, right there. Okay, I already identified it. What it is a little bit of rust on the edge of my brake drum right there. That's exactly what that is, because it just popped some of it off on the last roll around. Right there, some more. Yep. Just by doing little things like that, guys, you're going to find things and you're going to identify it. You're going to have a much better day just by post-tripping when it's light out and you can hear it and you can see it. Nothing on that one. Give it a good spin. Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one. I'd say she's in good shape, guys. I'd say she's good for another day of work. Yeah. A lot of things you can look at. I could stand out here and go over 500 different things. But this is something that you've got to do on a daily basis. Get to know that truck. Get to know every inch of that truck. And literally, I'm not kidding you. Raise that bed up 5, 6, 8 foot. You're going to be able to see everything a whole lot better. You're going to be able to inspect a whole lot better. I have no hydraulic fluid running down. That's a good thing. The other day we just had one of them that the bushing at the top went completely out. It was up there just flopping around. Not a good thing. That cut loose, it's going straight into the cab. Not good. Pay attention to them kind of things. But that concludes the post trip. Like I said, I'd like to see more people doing this on a daily basis. The more often you do it, the less amount of time it's going to take you to get it done, guys. I've been really serious about this. I've been doing it every single day, and I can literally be done in 5 to 6 minutes on a daily basis. And I'm, clocking out and I'm heading for home. So let's work together and let's get these trucks in tip-top shape, and let's be the -- 1 dump truck company in Des Moines. Let's be the one that everybody wants to call. Until then, I'll turn it around. Until then, let's go be #1, guys. Let's be a team. Hurry out, I'm back. Come on.